We've all heard the phrase, practice makes perfect. But the reality is, perfection doesn't exist. No matter how much you practice, there will always be more to learn, more to refine, and more ways to improve. So let's throw that idea away. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement, and improvement is what truly matters. If perfection were the goal, most of us would quit before we even started. We'd look at our mistakes and think, what's the point? I'll never get it perfect. But when you shift your mindset to progress over perfection, everything changes. You no longer see mistakes as failures, you see them as lessons. You no longer avoid challenges, you embrace them as opportunities to grow. You no longer wait until you're ready. You start now, because every step forward makes you better. Look at the best in the world, whether they be athletes, musicians, artists, or entrepreneurs. None of them are perfect, but they commit to improvement. They practice, refine, adjust, and push forward, always looking for ways to be just a little bit better than they were yesterday. Because greatness isn't about being flawless, it's about being relentless. So how do you embrace this mindset? First, show up, even when you don't feel like it. Some days you won't want to practice. Some days you'll feel stuck. But the secret to getting better is consistency. Improvement isn't about big gains, it's about small, intentional steps repeated over time. Number 2 is focus on progress, not perfection. Instead of chasing an impossible ideal, measure your success by your growth. Like, did you improve even by 1%? Did you push past your comfort zone? If you did, that's a win. Number 3 is learn from every mistake. There is value in mistakes. They are lessons. Every failure teaches you what to fix, what to refine, and what to try next. The only true failure is refusing to learn. Number 4 is commit to lifelong growth. Improvement doesn't have a finish line. The best in the world never stop practicing because they know there's always room to grow. Adopt that mindset and you'll never plateau. At the end of the day, your goal isn't perfection. It's progress. And the more you embrace the process, the more unstoppable you become. So don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be better every single day. Because practice doesn't make perfect. It makes progress. And progress changes everything. There comes a moment in life when you have to ask yourself, am I really giving it everything I've got? Not just in your career, your relationships, or your ambitions, but in the way you show up every single day. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Not your wishes, not your dreams, your standards. Because we don't get what we want in life, we get what we're willing to tolerate. I think everybody wants success, however it's defined. You may want financial freedom, great health, fulfilling relationships, but look around. If it were just about wanting, wouldn't more people have it? The difference is in the standard. Some people see excellence as optional, while others see it as a non-negotiable. Some accept excuses, while others demand results. The question is, what type of person are you? Look at the areas of your life where you feel stuck, where you feel frustrated, where you know deep down that you're settling for less than you're capable of. Now ask yourself, what am I tolerating here? Are you tolerating negative self-talk? Are you tolerating poor discipline? Are you tolerating an environment that drains you? Because the moment you raise your standard, that's the moment everything starts to shift. When you decide that being out of shape is no longer acceptable, your body changes. When you decide that mediocrity in your career is no longer acceptable, your work ethic changes. When you decide that toxic relationships are no longer acceptable, your boundaries change. Nothing changes until you demand more from yourself. Your standards shape your identity. Your standards define who you are. If you say you're someone who values excellence, but you let yourself cut corners, that's not a high standard. That's just a hopeful idea. A person with high standards doesn't talk about them, they live them. If you truly hold yourself to a standard of discipline, you don't skip workouts because you're tired. If you have a standard for self-respect, you don't stay in places where you're unappreciated. If you set a standard for success, you don't let failure break you. You use it as fuel. It's not about being perfect. It's about refusing to accept less than what you know you're capable of. People can sense the difference between someone who's half in and someone who's all in. Think about the athletes who demand excellence from themselves every day. The business leaders who never stop learning. The artists who refuse to settle for average work. They don't just show up when they feel like it. They show up because their standard requires them to. And when you carry yourself with that same level of commitment, the world responds. Opportunities find you. The right people respect you. Whenever I find myself overwhelmed, anxious, or just run down, one of the ways I find peace is to wander through nature. I slip on my shoes, fill my backpack with snacks and water, then head out for an hour or the day. There's something about breaking up the routine and connecting with nature that soothes my soul. It's my time, it's for me, and it's what I need. Now, whether it's nature or just in your own space, I strongly recommend you get lost so you can find yourself again. In a world that never stops moving, we forget to pause. We forget to step away. We forget that sometimes the only way to truly move forward is to first step back. You've been running, chasing your goals, meeting deadlines, answering messages, showing up for everyone but yourself. And somewhere in the chaos, you lost touch with you. There are days you feel it, don't you? That nagging sense that something's missing. That voice deep inside whispering, this isn't it. This isn't who I am. I need a moment to breathe. So take it. Give yourself permission to get lost. Not lost in distractions, not lost in the noise, but lost in a way that allows you to return to yourself. There is power in stepping away. Think about the last time you truly disconnected. No screens, no obligations, no expectations, just you and your thoughts and the world around you. At first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. When the noise fades, you're left with nothing but yourself. And for some people, that's terrifying. But if you sit with it long enough, clarity begins to rise. You begin to remember what matters. You begin to see what's been weighing you down. And you realize that half the things you were stressing over weren't even worth your energy. It's time to regroup, recenter, and return stronger. The people who change their lives are the ones who dare to step away long enough to reimagine what's possible. The best ideas, the boldest decisions, the deepest insights, they don't come when you're drowning in daily tasks. They come in the stillness. They come when you're out in nature, when you're traveling alone, when you're journaling at sunrise. or when you allow yourself to breathe without an agenda. And when you return different. You return clearer. You return ready. Sometimes the only way to find your path is to lose sight of everything else for a little while. Your reset is waiting. You don't need permission. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to justify why you're taking time for yourself. You just need to do it. Disappear for an hour, a day, or a week, whatever you choose. Book that solo trip. Turn off your phone. Drive with no destination. Let the world wonder where you've gone while you rediscover who you are. And when you come back, you won't be just rested. You'll be realigned. You may feel lost right now. That's okay. It just means it's time for this. I strongly recommend you get lost so you can find yourself again. How often have you told yourself, one day I'll get around to it. One day I'll take that leap. One day I'll chase my dream. One day I'll start living the life I know I'm capable of. One day is easy, isn't it? It feels safe. It whispers promises of future greatness while keeping you exactly where you are. But here's the thing, one day never comes. It's always out there, somewhere in the distance. And every time you push your goals to one day, you're pushing your potential further out of reach. But there's another option. Today can be day one. Day one isn't glamorous. It's not about massive achievements or instant results. It's about stepping forward. However uncertain or unprepared you feel, it's about beginning, even when you're scared or unsure. Take a moment to think about some of the most successful people in any field, like athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists. They didn't get there by waiting for the perfect time. They got there by deciding that day one mattered more than waiting for the right circumstances. They started training, writing, building, creating, long before they were ready. What about you? Maybe there's something you've been postponing. A business idea you've been sitting on, a fitness goal that feels too big, a life change that you're afraid to make. It's easy to convince yourself that you'll start when things settle down or when you're ready. But let me tell you something, there will never be a perfect time. The only perfect time is the moment you decide to begin. Day one doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require clarity or confidence. It only requires a decision to move, however small the step may seem. Think of this. Every incredible journey starts with a single step. The first step may feel awkward, uncertain, or even frustrating. But that step is where momentum begins. It's where you prove to yourself that you're capable. Here's the hard truth, is that waiting for one day is like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. On the other hand, day one is a path forward. It's progress. And progress, no matter how slow, is always better than standing still. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for the fear to disappear or the conditions to feel just right. The fear won't go away, and the conditions will never be perfect. You have to move forward despite the fear and despite the imperfection. So what will it be? Will today be another one day? Or will it be day one? You don't need all the answers, and you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Life rewards action, not plans, not intentions, but action. Every dream, every goal, every great achievement begins with someone who made the bold decision to stop waiting and start doing. One day or day one? Choice is yours. Fear is a powerful emotion. It can freeze us in our tracks, stifle our dreams, and keep us from reaching our true potential. Fear of failure in particular can be paralyzing. It whispers in our ears telling us that we're not good enough, we'll never succeed, and we might as well not try. However, fear is a natural part of life and it doesn't have to control us. Let's explore how you can overcome fear and embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. First, acknowledge your fear. The first step in overcoming fear is to acknowledge it. We often try to ignore our fears or pretend they don't exist, but when we do that, we give them power. So identify what you're afraid of. Is it failing at a job? Losing a relationship? By naming your fear, you take the first step towards diminishing its power. Remember, it's okay to be afraid. Everyone experiences fear. It's how you respond that matters. And then shift your perspective on failure. We often view failure as a dead end, a reason to stop trying. But what if we looked at it differently? Failure is just a stepping stone. Every successful person has faced failure at some point. It's how we learn, adapt, grow, and improve. Embrace the mindset that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. When you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And then take small steps. Fear often feels overwhelming, but you can break it down into manageable steps. Start small. If you're afraid of public speaking, let's say, begin by talking to a small group of friends. Gradually increase your audience as your confidence grows. Each small step you take diminishes the power of fear, and celebrate those victories, no matter how small. See yourself succeeding. Visualization is a powerful tool. When you picture yourself succeeding, you create a positive association with the outcome. So spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself overcoming your fear. See yourself succeeding, feeling confident, and achieving your goals. This mental rehearsal prepares you to face your fears and reinforces your belief in your abilities. Surround yourself with support. Your environment can significantly impact your mindset. Surround yourself with supportive people who believe in you and encourage you to face your fears. Share your goals and fears with them. They can offer valuable perspectives and encouragement. Join groups or communities where others are working to overcome similar fears. You'll realize you're not alone, and that camaraderie can provide immense strength. Practice mindfulness and self-compassion, please. Fear can often lead to negative self-talk, which only adds to the pressure. Practice mindfulness techniques, such as meditation or deep breathing, to center yourself and reduce anxiety. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's okay to be afraid, and treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. Let's embrace fear as part of your journey. Overcoming fear isn't about eliminating it completely. It's about learning to dance with it. Recognize that fear is a signal. It's a sign that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is often where growth happens. Every time you face a fear, you're building resilience, courage, and strength. So don't let fear stop you. Instead, use it as fuel to propel you forward. Change is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's always happening around us, whether we like it or not. The seasons shift from summer's warmth to winter's chill. We see it in our careers, our relationships, or even in the world itself. Change is everywhere. And yet, despite how normal it is, many of us fear it. We cling to the familiar, to what we know, because it feels safe. But the truth is, change isn't just inevitable, it's necessary. If we learn to embrace it, we don't just survive it, we thrive. Everything in life changes. Nature doesn't stay stagnant. There's a constant cycle of growth, death, and then rebirth. The trees shed their leaves only to bloom again in the spring. The ocean ebbs and flows with the tides. It's a natural part of life. And just like nature, we're meant to evolve, to adapt, and to grow. But so often we resist. Why? Because change is uncomfortable. It forces us to step outside of our comfort zones and to face the unknown. It challenges us to let go of what we've always known in order to become something greater. And that, for many, can be scary. But without change, there's no growth. If we never allow ourselves to step into the discomfort, we'll stay stuck. And staying stuck might feel safe for a while, but over time, we end up falling behind. We miss out on opportunities, on possibilities, on the chance to become more than what we are right now. While the rest of the world moves forward, we're left behind. Think about the times in your life when you faced change. Maybe it was an external change, like a new job, or moving to a new place, or the end of a relationship. Or maybe it was an internal shift, deciding to break an old habit, start a new one, or change your mindset. At first, it probably felt difficult, maybe even overwhelming. But after a while, once you got through the initial discomfort, didn't you come out stronger? Didn't you find yourself better equipped to handle whatever life threw your way? Change is like that. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And the best part, when you learn to embrace change, not just react to it, but you take control of your life. You stop waiting for your life to happen to you, and you start making conscious choices about who you want to become. Yes, change will happen whether we want it or not. But when we take ownership of that change, when we decide to grow with it, to use it as a tool for transformation, something amazing happens. We don't just keep up with life, we get ahead of it. We become the architects of our own futures, shaping our lives into something greater than we've ever imagined. So don't fear change. Don't shy away from the discomfort it brings. Instead, lean into it, embrace it. Know that every shift, every challenge, every unknown is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become more. Change is constant, it's inevitable, but it's also a gift. And when you stop fearing it and start embracing it, that's when you truly unlock your potential. Life is changing all around you. The question is, will you change with it? Let me ask you a simple question. Is there something you've been meaning to do, a dream you've been holding on to, or a goal you've been putting off? Why haven't you started yet? We all have something we're waiting on. Maybe it's waiting for the perfect moment, when the timing is just right, when all the stars align. Maybe you're waiting until you have more money, more time, more confidence, or more clarity. But here's the hard truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. There will never be a time when everything lines up exactly the way you imagined. And if you keep waiting for it, well, you'll be waiting forever. Remember when you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but then tomorrow came and went and nothing changed? Maybe you've been telling yourself this for months, even years, waiting for that magic spark to ignite the fire within you. But the truth is, it's not some outside force that's going to make things happen for you. It's you. You have the power to start right now, today. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have everything to be perfect. All you need is to take that first step. Because the longer you wait, the more time slips through your fingers. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, years have gone by and your dreams are still sitting on the shelf collecting dust. So what's holding you back right now? Is it fear? Fear of failure? Fear of the unknown? Fear of stepping outside of your comfort zone? Come on, that fear is normal. Everyone feels it. But the people who succeed, who live the lives they want, are the ones who feel that fear and take action anyways. They don't let fear control them. They take control of the fear. Think about this. Every great achievement, every success story started with a single decision: to stop waiting and start doing. The people you look up to, the ones who are living the lives you admire, they didn't have it all figured out when they began. They just decided to start. And they made the choice to move forward, no matter how uncertain or scared they were. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission from someone else to tell you it's okay to chase your dreams. The time is now, and I mean right now. There's no better time to start than this very moment. So what are you waiting for? The only thing standing between you and the life you want is action. You have everything you need inside you. You have the strength, the ability, and the power to take the first step. Don't let another day pass by without moving forward. This is your moment. This is your chance to break free from the cycle of waiting and step into the life you've always wanted. Start today. Start now. Because the only thing you're truly waiting on is you. Habits are the silent architects of our lives, quietly molding our thoughts, actions, and ultimately our destinies. Embedded in the fabric of our daily routines, they hold the power to propel us towards success or keep us mired in mediocrity. You become what you repeatedly do is a quote that underscores the profound influence habits wield over our lives. Consider the lives of history's luminaries, from the creative genius of Leonardo da Vinci to the entrepreneurial prowess of Elon Musk. Behind their extraordinary achievements lay a foundation of disciplined habits and relentless dedication. It's not mere talent or luck that distinguishes them, but rather the consistent practice of unwavering commitment to their craft. As Aristotle aptly put it, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. But what exactly is a habit? At its essence, a habit is a behavior that has been repeated so often that it becomes automatic, a pattern ingrained in our subconscious. Whether it's the daily ritual of exercise or reading, or the mindset of resilience in the face of adversity, our habits shape the contours of our being. The power of habits lies in their ability to create change. By consciously adopting positive habits, we can transform into our aspirations of tomorrow. However, crafting new habits requires more than mere intention. It demands discipline, consistency, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. Change is uncomfortable, but complacency is crippling. To break free from the inertia of the familiar, we must be willing to venture into the unknown and cultivate the habits that align with our goals. So how do we go about cultivating powerful habits that lead to success? The key lies in understanding the psychology of habit formation. According to Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, every habit consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. By identifying the cues that trigger our habitual responses, we can replace destructive routines with positive alternatives and reap the rewards of our efforts. Take, for example, the habit of procrastination. Many of us fall prey to the allure of procrastination, putting off important tasks until the last minute or succumbing to stress and anxiety as the result. By recognizing the cues that trigger our procrastination, whether it's boredom, fear, or just feeling overwhelmed, we can interrupt the routine of avoidance and replace it with the habit of taking immediate action, even if it's just one small step that creates a little momentum. Over time, this new habit can lead to increased productivity, reduced stress, and a greater sense of fulfillment. The power of habits cannot be overstated. They are the invisible forces that shape who we are and who we can become. By consciously choosing to cultivate empowering habits, we can unlock our full potential and create the life of our dreams. As architects of our own destiny, it's up to us to build wisely, one habit at a time.